to the 2024. Somebody made a joke that with the number of debit alerts he has gotten this year, it looks like we're in July already. And I said, calm down. We've not moved that fast yet. My name is Oꞌᴏᴜ Akíndé, and it's my pleasure to have you join us on the show today. We started the week centered around the speech of Mr. President, the budget, 28.8 trillion naira for the year 2024. To cater for the needs and the aspirations of about 230 million Nigerians. Well, but yesterday we decided to take a little diversion. We looked at the decision of the federal government to, place a ban on the valuation of some degrees from some universities from Togo and Benin Republic as a result of the investigation that was carried out. This whole conversation around 6 weeks for a degree. And I watched the session of the journalist that carried out the investigation yesterday on national TV, and he said he spent about 600,000 naira to get the degree. Hey, it's that bad. It's really bad. The fact that somebody is cheating the system, and the fact again that it's so cheap for you to cheat the system. Hey, to school in this country, even talking about the accommodation alone for 1 year or for 2 years, I mean, the cost of education in this country, if you go to a private school, it's totally out of this world. You go to a federal school, state university, college of education, technical school, whatever school you must have attended, 600,000 to get a degree in 6 weeks. It's appalling. It's distasteful. It's just really embarrassing, to say the least. But hey, I spoke to the spokesperson of the Federal Ministry of Education, joined me on the show yesterday, Mr. Ben Bangong, and we talked about this conversation around, either ways you want to look at it, there are investigations that will be carried out. The Honorable Minister of Education, Professor Tᴜɪ̀rìᴏ, and also addressed the press yesterday evening, and he talked about the fact that when investigation will be carried out, there will be issues around maybe security will be used to go after the people that are parading with the, probably gotten jobs or parading fake certificates. There's just so much to talk about. Second class citizen, a third class citizen. I mean, we've seen all of these cases, instances where Nigerians have come on social media space to say, hey, we're treated so badly when we got into a country. They kept all of us to one space that are Nigerians, and then they searched us differently. So when this whole conversation around the certificate came up, I felt like it's a major step, a backward for us, especially for the people that are trying to clean the image of this country. So people start looking, you schooled in a foreign university from Nigeria. Hey, it's just a reflection of the society, basically. Somebody produces a shoe in Aba and he puts made in Germany because they know that, we don't value things that are produced locally. We don't always have this strong, how do I put it now? We always have this strong desire to get foreign made products, even if they are fake. That's why it's easy for you to sell fake things for Nigerians with the price of the original. So somebody will buy a fake so and so bag, for instance, for 400,000, and it's still fake, and the original of that same product is 400,000. So you're trying to understand why Nigerians are so into imported products, to the point that we import toothpick in this country, cotton board. I mean, it's crazy, But I want to hold on to the word of the spokesperson how did he get back into the scheme? Because that's like the most, how do I put it now? That's like the most surprising part of the conversation. I observed my NYSC in Plateau State, and I always feel like I cannot do that again. Like I cannot get back into the system again. I should not be able to serve again. I shouldn't be admitted, into the orientation camp again. I should not be assigned to any place of primary assignment again, because I've done it only once. You would expect that we should have a proper database that covers everything. Oh, you served 35 years ago, 35 years after, you still cannot serve. So somebody called on the show yesterday and he said he had a friend that served 3 times until he got a job. That's when he stopped serving. And I'm like, okay, that's strange. That's new to me, because I've always felt like, oh, once you get into the system, the system automatically locks you in. You cannot come back to serve. But I guess it's part of what Nigerians are waiting for the Ministry of Ministry of Education rather, to tell us the outcome of the investigation. How did it, beyond just getting a degree in 6 weeks, beyond paying for the degree, how was he able to get back into the system to serve when he had already served a few years ago? I think there's a lot of things, and that's why Mr. Miwa DME would join us on the show today. The chief political editor of Guardian newspaper would actually know how deep should this investigation go. What is the extent to which this investigation should go? Should it just go, let's look at the schools. How many Nigerians in their thousands actually have certificates that are from these universities, foreign students? So you go, I remember when we were 7, some of the foreign students that came through, they were attended to separately. In short, when they wanted to redeploy, they were literally told, okay, just go back to Lagos, go back to Abuja, go back to Port Harcourt. And I'm like, oh, so those of us that went through to federal universities or state universities in Nigeria here, we don't deserve that preference, because they feel like, oh, you are coming in from one university in Udegbe or one vibe university in Togo. So because it's a foreign degree, you get that special preferential treatment. And then you look at at the core members also, foreign student. I'm like, welcome. We are all here now for the next 21 days. All of us we're all core members. But I think beyond that, a lot of Nigerians need to start asking the right questions. And one of the things I pushed to my guests yesterday was that, is this a reflection of, in quotes, how bad the Nigerian education system is, that people go to neighboring countries to get degrees? And then he said no, probably some of the courses that they do in those institutions, we don't have them in Nigeria. And I said, hey, when I was reporting to my PP, I can't forget, there was someone that we boarded the same bus from camp, or they took us from camp down to the PPA, and she did mass communication from one of the universities in the West African region. It's not even in Togo or Benin Republic, by the way. And she could barely fill her PPA form. A graduate, mass com. So it just takes us back to where this conversation started from. How many of these people do we have parading themselves in the labor market, or even employers of labor, people sitting on blue chip companies? And these are the individuals that will tell you that, oh, Nigerians are not employable. Oh, the Nigerian graduate is not qualified enough, is not well cooked. Bro, you know what? You got your degree via the back door. You cannot defend your degree. I can defend mine. I can tell you my course mate from 100 level down to 400 level. It's a bad situation. And I hope that the Ministry of Education would, they said they would involve the DSS and the police. I hope that they would find a way to just create some level of exposure on this, so that Nigerians would know that when they say graduates are not employable, it is not a statement that should cover everybody. And my biggest fear yesterday, as I expressed, was, hey, are we going to have a situation where what about the people that are genuinely studying in those schools, or in other schools that are genuinely accredited by NUC? Probably some of them are even operating in Nigeria. what happens to their certificates? And the spokesperson of the Ministry of Education told me that don't worry, there's going to be a thorough investigation and no innocent person will be made to pay for the sins of others. I feel good about that, and I'm really optimistic with the fact that there will be a thorough investigation that will be carried out, and let's see where all of that will lead us to. But it's not a good way to start the year. It's not a good way, a conversation for us to start talking about, where we're looking at. Let's start the year on a good note. Let's look at the economic implications of the budgets. Mr. President's 1st of January nationwide address. He talked about the assurances that his government is going to make the country better. He understands the pains and the plight of Nigerians. He's ready to fix things. His administration. There was so much positivity going into the year, but hey, would always find a way around it. Your life on mainland 98.3 FM, trying to get across to Mr. Mīwā to see how far we can go on the show today. I'll take a quick break, just a few seconds. We'll be right back. The show continues. Don't go nowhere. We've got a lot to talk about on the show today. This program runs from 4 to 5:30 p.m. every Mondays to Fridays, live on mainland 98.3 FM. You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Godwin Enoch, and I'm a broadcast journalist and a sport administrator. I urge you to listen to Situation Room with Oᴘᴜᴜ on mainland 98.3 FM from 4 to 5 p.m. weekdays. God bless Nigeria.
Okay, welcome back. Mr. Mīwā said he's going to be with me in the next 10 minutes or thereabouts. So I'll just keep the conversation going. If you listen to the speech of the address of the Honorable Minister of Education yesterday, he talked about the assurance, gave a lot of Nigerians the confidence to the fact that everything will be done, thoroughly investigated, so that the ban that have been placed on those certificates, or those schools rather, 18 of them actually, would not affect the people that are legitimately getting their things done. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. What do you make of that story? I have a lot of friends. I remember I talked about it yesterday that somebody was saying, well, he had a friend when he was schooling, a friend of, one of his friends was also schooling outside of Lagos. He was like, why are you always in Nigeria? You're schooling outside. And he said the friend told him that, no. We have foreign students are attended to online. We're allowed to take online lectures. And I'm like, okay, it's good. It's allowed. But with this one now, a lot of people will start asking questions about, how did we get to this point? How did we get to the fact that people's, certificate will have to be thoroughly investigated? I got a message yesterday by the way on the show, and the person was talking about the fact that if they do the investigation and they open a can of worm, and I'm like, investigations should not spare anybody. If there are people, no matter how highly placed you are, involved in this racketeering, this certificate, selling, that's what you're doing. You cannot use 6 weeks for a course that's supposed to take you 6 years. So imagine a medical doctor that got that kind of certificate through the back door, and then you are expected to treat or to operate on a patient, or you're a lecturer or you're a teacher, or it's a bad situation. Yes, But it makes a lot of sense once the investigation is done, and we get that proper, we get to the root of this issue, and hopefully, no matter how highly placed these individuals can be or they are, and they will not be spared. Whether you work in Ministry of Education, you work you work at the NYSC, or you work schools that are also part of all of these issues. I hope that everyone affected or everyone involved will be brought to book and persecuted. It shouldn't be one of those investigations that will go, because what this does is you present your certificates and then you get that extra scrutiny. They have to look at your certificates over and over again, especially when you're presenting it outside of the country. So it kind of give a bad dent on the people that are legitimately studying in those schools. Nobody says foreign degrees are bad. No, a lot of people that have schooled outside and they've got something really good on the table. But when you choose to do your own the other way around, and then these individuals are always quick to come, put all of the black spot on the government, or the government is not responsible, the country is not making progress, or things are not working well, and you know yourself that the certificate you are holding was bought. You use 6 weeks to buy a certificate of a course that is supposed to take you 5 years. It's laughable, but it's a very, very embarrassing thing that we find ourselves. But then, like I said, the Honorable Minister, Professor Mamara, had actually given us his word that the investigation will be thorough, to be well done, and everyone involved, no matter how well placed you are, how connected you are, the committee would investigate you and bring you out and fish you out, and then hopefully ones or twos. And funny enough, a lot of us listening this evening, some of us are even involved in this. Some of us know the people that are doing this, and some of us know the people that are running these racketing. Some of us know the people that are parading these fake certificates, and we know them. But because they are close to us, we're going to keep quiet. I pray and I hope that the hand of the Lord will catch up with you if you are really hell-bent on messing up the image of this country. Yes, you're live on Milan 98.3 FM. Mr. Mᴜɪᴡsᴜ joins me very soon, hopefully. Then we can continue to push the conversation. So maybe you want to talk to us, one or two things. Or did you listen to the speech of the Honorable Minister yesterday? And is that a good way to start? How far, how deep, how well do you think this investigation should go? Or do we even trust the system enough to carry out a thorough investigation? How long do you think all of this has been happening? How many people do you think have been involved in this racketeering? Just talk to us, let us fill up till Mr. Mᴜɪᴜ joins us. 0913-600-0410. Hello, good evening.
Okay.
Good evening.
Happy New Year.
Same to you, you're welcome.
I'm Don Peters by name.
Don Peters, good to have you join us today.
Yes, I was with you yesterday on this very show, but I was unable to call. I listened to all the callers, and I want to tell you something. My happiness is that you are a very smart journalist.
Thank you.
Okay?
I'm
this thing I'm telling you right now. In the Western world, if they want to correct anything, they will start from the head and to correct it. They will not start correcting things from the tail or from the middle. No matter who else is God, they are going to cut off with the person and they are going to deal with the person. What am I trying to say here? What is good for Toronto is good for Benin and the Togo. What is good for Chicago is good for Benin and the Republic and Togo. If we are investigating, we should investigate thoroughly. There is something Mr. Ambrose said yesterday, and it's a very big message and a strong one. Nigeria always go for foreign things. Why? There are so many things we have here in Nigeria that is so original, so authentic, and so useful. But Nigeria will, in as much as it's here in Nigeria, they will overlook it and be going for the one they see that is made in abroad. And that is exactly what is killing us. That is exactly what is tearing us down as a country. We have lost our value. Okay? if Rangers is playing today, nobody shows concern to go and watch it. But if Arsenal is playing, everybody will like to go and watch. Nigeria wire cable, I'm not advertising for them. I'm sorry for that. They are the most original in the world. You can
but we don't buy them.
Nigerians cannot buy. But the one that is made in other places, that is what they will be patronizing. But if you have a very good engineer, they will tell you that this Nigeria wire cable is the original one. There is nothing happens to it. But it's Nigeria. They will not patronize it. Well, which one will I talk and which one will I not talk? I'm into business and I know what is happening. Nigeria value so much things that is made in abroad. And we leave whatever that is being done here in Nigeria, we see it as a low class. It is better we start to patronize our institutions, begin to patronize our things. That is only when we can make progress as a people. If they are investigating this one in Togo, they should also investigate others. If people who get that in Togo should go in for it, the people who get in Toronto should also go in for it. That's just the truth.
Thank you, Don Peters.
When they want to correct, let them start from the head and correct everything so that everybody will stand at a place. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I totally get your points. I know where you're coming from. We've had instances like this, and it's only normal for us to ask for thorough investigation. This has nothing to do with your social status, whether you are holding any political office or you're this. If the investigation will be done at all, it should be thorough. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good to have you join us on the show. Your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Lagos. This Femi is my name.
Femi from Lagos.
No, Femi, yeah.
Okay.
All right, I've been calling this.
Hello.
I've been called in a woman's number from today. The prayer was saying last year. So,
I'm struggling to hear you, Femi. If you can reach us back, I would appreciate if you can call us back. 09136000410. Okay, let me talk to you again. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Matthew.
Good evening.
Dr. Mᴜɪᴜᴜ.
You're welcome.
Thank you. When I consider the analyst politically and the sport analyst, I just shake my head. 99% perfect, but the only bad thing about it is that it's a Real Madrid.
Let's go. Let's do politics. Let's do politics.
Later we'll do that in
yes, sport. We'll do that later.
Sometimes I hear Nigerians and I shake my head. It's not the same Nigerians that we torture ourselves. I will never forget what happened to me last year, February, March last year. I had to buy 50,000 naira for 60,500 naira from Nigerians, and we pontificate. Sometimes the Lord that knows all things will not leave some people beyond a certain level because those will be worse than the people complain against them. That is not the truth. And you pay 12,500 naira upon your money among Nigerians. That aside, I'm surprised that today, those at the end of affairs, NUC, are not facing either the Senate or the House of Reps because they are the most culpable in this very case. Most culpable. No other incoming. NUC, the political technical body, and the NBC body, as in the the technical education body. All these bodies should be facing probe from Senate because this is the most embarrassing case. But as I said yesterday, will this make headlines in March? Because we are sensationalists, as far as I am concerned. We will browse for a while, after a while it goes down. And the reason we are not growing as a nation because our education remains defective. I thought to go for my master's sometime in 2011. I heard about it in the UK. A friend of mine was going to sponsor me. She was there. And she's still there now. But I got to know that if I go there after leaving land, my left land, get back, and that the result, the system that produced me will be probed in the schools I applied for.
True. Because
they don't really believe in the system that produced me. It was a haphazard system. Today strike, tomorrow no strike. And I was even told that I may be subjected to some things that will sound ridiculous to me. Eventually I tested the idea. Later I went for the master's. Not after the country, but within Nigeria. Later for my doctorate in the divinity. What am I saying here? They don't even trust some things with police from here because you are seen as outdated. A course that should take you 5 years, that takes 7 or 8 years. You think anybody will take it seriously? I'll give you an example as a metaphor. I know of a young man. He came to our house that it's on a Sunday. A pharmacy student, a graduate from Ife. This boy entered school as a 19-year-old boy in 1995. So where I exaggerate not. He left school in 2005 as a 29-year-old boy, studying pharmacy for 10 full years. 10 years. A course that should not take him more than 5 calendar years. Because Ife then was the headquarters of strike. And internal strike was there. And to strike everything added up to 10 years for just a 4th degree. Now, tell me that, in fact, you need to see that guy that day. He was there, he had lost enthusiasm. He was only there, he only came to our house.
How would you stay that long in school and you will not lose enthusiasm? You will. You will certainly lose the touch for it.
He was a caricature. You could not say that, let me just apply because I will apply for to feel all righteousness. So, tell me that what the person was having feel. I was on a station not too long ago. He said, the doctor was telling me about a girl who was in a public Nigerian school. I said she spent her 7th year for a 4-year course, whereas a younger sister who entered about 2 years later, the private university, because the parents had gotten more money while things went on. The younger sister was being congratulated because she was about to graduate, whereas the elder sister was spending her 7th year for a 4-5-year course. So NUC should be answering some questions now. And the only one company you can throw shade about whether we went to a particular school. Some people have said don't know that they went to school, whatever, but I'm not even doing anything more with that. But NUC is a major culprit in this. University Commission, the body in charge of polytechnics, and the body in charge of college education. They should be facing if a serious nation. In one of this, China today, we look at them as the manufacturing hub of the world. 3-4 years ago, China converted 600 universities to polytechnics because they had the national trust. We want to remain the manufacturing hub of the world, and we need technical guys. We don't need universities more, we need polytechnics. So they converted about 600 universities to polytechnics. That's a serious country. Let's therefore say, good evening.
Thank you very much. Well, I didn't intend to have an open conversation today as such, but the phone lines are buzzing already. Mr. Adeyemi joins me already in the studio. Okay. How do we do this right now? Let me just take a couple of more calls while Mr. Miwa settles down, and then we'll get into the conversation. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, you're welcome. Your name and where you calling from?
Comrade Andrew from Ikeja.
Comrade Andrew from Ikeja, you're welcome.
Yeah, good evening. Happy New Year.
Same to you, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I want to comment on this issue this way.
Please go on.
You know, there is a saying in my language that when you start madness, you first and foremost set your house ablaze. That is when people will know that this man really started madness. So the issue of certificate that they're talking about, I want to advise Nigerian government that it shouldn't only lay emphasis on foreign universities. Because if you go to Nigerian universities, there are even some of those illicit things that are taking place in those universities. People are buying certificates in Nigerian universities without going to school to undertake their studies. So if emphasis are laid only on the foreign universities, I want to let you know that the whole business is a no-go area. It's not a good one. And then I also want to support the third speaker that says they should start it on the top. Because we all know what is ongoing in this country. If they really make business, they should do the business, and then we should know that our educational system is being sanitized. Not that they will start at the end of the day. They will say, this one is the son of a politician, and this one is a business mogul, this one is this, and then the whole committee, they have to report and whatever thing they die a natural death, and nobody will hear it again. But if the federal government cannot do that, it should allow the sleeping dog to lie peacefully. That is my advice. Thank you so much, and God bless you for the
Thank you very much. I think we'll have to, hold on to the calls for now. When we come back by 5 o'clock, I would certainly pick the calls. I know a lot of Nigerians want to, sink their teeth into this conversation. It's a very, very engaging conversation. Mr. Adeyemi joins us on the show for the first time this year. The last time he was on the show with us was in 2023. Mr. Miwa is the head of political desk of Guardian newspaper, and it's always a pleasure when he joins us every Thursday. We just get that extra bites, that extra dose of details and experience. Good evening. Good to have you join us on the show today.
Yeah, good evening, listeners.
Okay.
Happy New Year to you, brothers and sisters.
I was going to say that, and the people have not heard your voice on the show this year.
We bless God.
Well, before we get straight up into it, obviously we discussed what we're going to talk about today, which is the whole certificate conversation and all of that. But before then, I'm sure you listened to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's, 1st of January nationwide address. He talked about understanding where the shoe pinches, understanding the pains and all of that. I mean, the budget that was signed was also pushed up a little bit from 27.5 trillion to 28.7 trillion, and 28.8 trillion. And just many things. What direction do you think the economy will take this year? The president highlighted some short-term fixes and of course the long-term plans. He talked about the 500,000 hectares of land that will be cultivated with maize and rice and millet. He also talked about the Dangote refinery, the Port Harcourt refinery. He talked about fixing securities. Are these enough for Nigerians right now, Mr. Miwa?
Well, I think if you have been following reactions of Nigerians, which my own is quite not different from their own, there's nothing spectacular in that speech that we've not had before. But some of the solution he tried to profile to some of the problems we are having. I think, it's an attempt, it's an effort. So, but if I had to pick them one-on-one, one is talking of government on this food security, they are going to plow 500 hectares of land. I think is not simply the way to go, and I stand to be corrected. At the end of the day, you discover that government to spend more money, I think, in cultivating those hectares of land than even importing food, because we know government in business, government has to do business in business. But what people have been saying that I think the government should think about is, why can't you make agric a business for the youth? We have hundreds and thousands of youths that if they know they are going to, that agric has become business, certainly they will go into it. What do I mean? Nobody wants to go to farm now, tilling lands with cutlass and hoes. Why can't government make tractors available, planters available? Maybe if or not in all the rural communities, all the major wards, if ballot paper can get to all the nooks and crannies of this country, you might not say Lagos State perhaps does not need tractors because it has no land to cultivate. But you can't talk about that in all the wards, in most of the majority of the wards in your state or in Niger State. Make tractors available. Make treated seedlings available. Encourage many people to go into farming, and let government ready to procure this produce from them. If I know now that with the tractors in my local government or in my wards, I can just hire it, you get it back. It's not for free. That I know that if I go back to my village on the weekend, I will get a tractor in which I can plow 5-10 hectares of land. I will do it and get people to work there. Nowadays, it's modern agriculture. Let's practice modern agriculture to encourage many people to go into farming. One, if I know that in the next 3 months, let me plant maize or another whatever. That in the next 4 months, I'm going to harvest it. Marketing the product is not an issue. The government is ready to take it from me. What they do elsewhere is that, at times when they want to encourage people to go into this kind of planting, government can take a bag of rice from the farmers, let's say 70,000 naira, store it in their silos, and push it to the public at 40,000 naira.
Subsidize it.
30,000. But it's not a subsidy that will keep their money. It's a subsidy that enhances production. Because the more you produce, the more you get subsidy from the government. Let the tractor be available. So if you cultivate 501 million hectares of land in what state? What happened to thousands of youths looking for job? Provide enabling environment for farming to become a business. Many people will surely go into it. So I don't see that as solving the problem. Number one. Number two, so we are, all these economic theories of the Dangote refineries coming on board. Dangote refinery said it was going to produce diesel and perhaps jet A1 aviation fuel. How would that reduce the price of petroleum? The Port Harcourt refinery, what is the capacity? What is how many liters are we consuming a day in Nigeria? How many millions of liters? How many will Port Harcourt refinery produce? And for how long? Because we have done the turnaround maintenance. They've been doing it ever since. But what we had initially was that technology is old. So if in the next 4-5 months, I'm not going to hear another story that billions of dollars spent on that refinery has gone down the drain again. So I think the president should be more practical in finding solutions to our problems. There are problems I think many have been predicting that 2024 might be tougher than 2023, because in the implication of everything that's happening now, we begin to feel it more than what we have been feeling in the previous year. We are talking of foreign factories leaving, local industries are closing up. So what is the implication on employment? What is the implication on availability of goods and services? So what is the implication on the economy, on the GDP, on the IGR of states? So what I said, that the problem at hand is much more than the kind of promises. And listen, I've not seen him. I've been seeing much of talking. I've been seeing much of rhetorics. I've seen him, yes, surrounded by good writers. But the issue goes beyond speaking grammar. The issue goes beyond getting fine writers to craft your speech. The issue now is how Nigerians will survive the current situation, which is dragging many people into things they didn't want to do. People have found it difficult to survive, to feed their families. Because of the economic situation in this country now, many people could not travel to their villages to celebrate Christmas. Many people, even in their various homes, how many people will say they celebrated the Christmas the way they would have loved to celebrate it? So we are not talking about all these low-hanging fruits now alone. But to me, the speech, I think, yes, we had fine grammar, we had promises, we had hopes, to at least to give up hopes. But in a summary, I think we want to see the practical action. Now, we should not begin to leave the era of promises.
And see action.
And to begin to see action. If up till now in the power supply 7-8 months in office,
nothing is better.
So we have not seen an improvement at all in power supply. Throughout the Christmas in my area, it was blackout. I think to many houses. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if we are still saying that, I think things have not changed. I think they promised, I think, vehicles since 7-8 months. And even if they are just assembling those vehicles, are they not supposed to have started arriving in the country? Where are they? Do you understand? They promise palliative. Some state governments refuse to implement any palliative. Even some that promise to give 35,000 to their workers, did they give them to them? Did they give to them? So that's the problem. That's what we are talking about. So you cannot continue to promise and promise and promise when people are dying. Do something practical and check your people. Check how the ministries are working. If you know some areas that are very critical to you, like energy, like power, like education, like finance, what about the procurement system? Are people not still in this country? So, but by and large, we would have loved him to. We have loved him to include in speech what he and his cabinet are doing to tighten their belts? We would have loved to hear him say, because of the situation of things, we have removed this, we have removed that, we have removed this, that 50 or 100 vehicles will not follow me again. We would have loved to hear that one. We would have hear him to, I think, those things he is doing to cut down expenses, the cost of governance in this country. We would have loved to hear him say all those things. But if Nigerians, we are asking more sacrifice Nigeria to hold on, they are dying, and the people in government are living ostentatious lifestyle. They are living as if we are not in the same country. So the speech to me is not is inspiring, but I think it's not what I think can suit me off my feet to start jumping. And the make you budget, yes, budget is shows direction of a government, but how much will really release, right? If you budgeted 50 billion to a Greek, at the end of the day, that's how much will it be released to that Greek. If he has promised also amount to the education sector,
how much
what's going to be the budget performance? I would have loved, the problem we have in this country is that if I don't know how we can have a system that maybe quarterly, let them review budget performance.
The president actually promised that there are going to be mechanism in place that would, encourage budget review, budget performance index and reviews. And I think it's a terrain a lot of Nigerians are really interested in.
Yes, previous administration also promised that one. No, apart from Buhari, I think I don't want to use Buhari as an example of any, I think of a government. You understand? It's normal to have I think always review. If you promise to do this so in education, so in the next 4 months, tell Nigerians, this is what I promised. Do you understand? But this is what we have been able to do. So if there is no budget, it's only by that time we begin to know how far they have gone. Not about speaking, not about giving, not about renewing people's hope, because people are dying. Do you understand? So how will you continue to tell somebody that has nothing to eat, somebody that has been in darkness, somebody that his business has collapsed because there is no power supply, going to give him hope?
Hope on what?
Hope on what? Okay, I think some people are laying down staff. So if you are running a company on diesel, do you know the implication without electricity and with the high cost of diesel now, and with the purchasing power that has reduced? So companies that are running on diesel, they are collapsing every day. Some people is no more work at home. If you see all manners of things people are doing, at least to float in business, you pity many people running business. The only business you can run in this country is only a service company that you don't run diesel at all. You don't involve in manufacturing. You don't involve in manufacturing
or production.
On production, maybe you can sit down under a dongoyaro tree
and do POS
and do your business. Maybe, or you can use solar energy to run your business. Maybe, but when it comes to serious business that impact economy, all those things needed have collapsed. So it needs to move faster. Yes, some people are saying he didn't cause it. Agreed. But he knew that there was a problem. So he knew he was coming to solve problem. And he knew that he must run. So he's still crawling.
Okay. That was pretty expansive, deep enough. And I've taken my time over and over again. I think on Monday I played bites of the president's speech. We had just the technical guys have been to put up a bit of the assurances and all of that, just to see what Nigerians can hold on to and say, Mr. President, on the 1st of January, you promised you were going to do this, you were going to do that, and we've not seen anything. And the funny thing about the year is it's moving so fast. Today is done. Today is 4th of January.
Yes.
And before we say Jack Robinson, we're done with January. We're moving into February. And then, things cannot just be the same. But let's be hopeful. Sometimes hope can be vague. It can be really misleading. But we can't give up. We'll have to constantly ask for accountability, which is key, by the way. And then let's see where this country will go to. And talking about hope, talking about doing things differently. Mr. Muiwa Adeyemi, The trending conversation right now is the decision of the federal government to ban some universities that are operating in Benin Republic and Togo, and then of course invalidate their certificates. But yesterday on the show, I had the spokesperson of the Ministry of Education join me on the show via phone, and then he was able to explain everything to us on the show. And later yesterday evening, I also I watched the Minister of Education address Nigerians on the same issue. But it looks like it's an issue that every single day is throwing more direction into the conversation. The journalist that carried out the investigation was also on TV yesterday. I watched it, and he said he paid about 600,000 naira to get that certificate in 6 weeks. Now, the twist to it is that he has actually graduated from Nigeria, the Nigerian university. He has observed his mandatory NYSC, done his service here. But in the course of the investigation, he had to, finalize it by still enrolling for the NYSC, and he was absorbed into camp for orientation. So the question is this, Mr. Miwa, to start with, how much of a mess is this whole situation? We're talking about certificates now. We don't even know how long it's been going on. How much of a mess is all of these things?
Well, it's quite unfortunate that we find ourselves at this level. And let me say something about, I think this University of Benin Republic, people rushing to Benin Republic to study. We all know that people that could not make it into Nigerian universities, and maybe majority of them, I think the majority of them were running to Benin Republic, Togo, or to go and obtain certificates. Yes, we have some people that are going to that are attending accredited and credible higher institutions in those places. But Nigerians, our ability for acquiring certificates, even when they didn't have time to undergo studies, those are Nigerians are desperately going there. I think to go with all these shenanigans and manipulating the system and perhaps corrupting. I have to say that, because if you have had the opportunity of interacting with the Benin and the Togolese, you know that they were not as wild as Nigerians. I'm telling you the truth. There was a time in the Benin Republic, up to now in some area, if you had the police blasting a whistle, everybody would stand still until the person they were looking for arrested. But let them blow that whistle now, maybe at junket or whatever. You see some Nigerians running away.
Because they think they are the one they are coming to arrest.
I'm telling you the truth. So you see how the Nigerians are very wild. Unless you travel out of this country, no, maybe if I didn't want to say Nigeria, but let me say Lagosians, because I want to be careful, right? If you have the opportunity of leaving Lagos to some of these West African countries, you agree with me that Lagosians are wild. Because I know in some interlands, with some states, we have decorum of morality. Do you understand? In those areas, but I'm talking of this Lagos, right? I have to be careful.
Our eyes are wide.
Our eyes are very wide, man. So those things you had never seen happening. Go to Ghana and begin to see what is happening in Ghana now. In Kumasi, go and see. Those things that people had never seen, never knew could happen, Nigerians are taking it to those areas. And I'm sure Benin Republic has been corrupted. The kind of money they've never seen in their life in education,
they're seeing it.
They begin to see it. People ready to go and give them 5-10 million to obtain certificates. People are ready to just do anything because they want certificates. And it's in Nigeria. No, that's why you see in some villages, you see doctor everywhere now. Doctor. Even somebody that could not write his name. He put his name, and you see that's why he writes his PhD bigger than another one, right? So those are the people we are talking about. But it's quite unfortunate that I think when Nigerian system, I think, could not at least stop, or we could not, I think, secure our system to not to allow for such infiltration. Inflation is just that you can go anywhere to obtain fake certificate. Or, do you understand? But how will it be acceptable? We shouldn't allow it in our system. For instance, as what we have been reading, a university only approved for agriculture, for Agric, University of Agric, and somebody is coming
issuing a computer science certificate,
issuing certificates for a lot of history, for geophysics, for that kind of thing. So I think what is NYSC doing to have admitted that one? But let me tell you something. You know, some people, those of people that are getting these certificates, how many of them can get a serious white collar job with it? That's why the employers are not getting smarter. That forget your certificate when you come back.
Come on board.
They will allow you to go back and write the exams. Do you understand? That's why you be even where I work to serve with us. Do you understand? You will write. To do IT.
You will write.
You will write. So that's why you see by the time you see bringing 10 people to come and do IT, study mass comm, studying English, no problem. Just give me the assignment, write an assignment of my home, myself. What normal assignment?
You should write in secondary school.
In secondary school, the kind of composition we write in secondary school. Give them to write the journey from my home to Anthony. Do you understand? They will see them fidgeting. You see them shaking, sweating. Do you understand? So these are the people we're talking about. So if about 10 people will come for NYSC, so you can hardly take 2 from them. So but Nigerian system, if companies are adopting system and to separate chaff from the grain, right? But Nigerian system should do more. I heard some people say initially that we had fake results everywhere. Yes, but in Nigeria, there are many universities that are doing fantastically well. There are many universities that you cannot get certificate like that. Even if somebody stole their certificate, they have quality students that can stand the test of time because they went through the rigor of academic process and came out brilliantly. So, but if you have few elements that penetrate the system to steal, to buy certificates, well, occasionally, but the system also must fish them out. But you see some of those people, they won't dare going to work in a white collar job
because they know that
when we are saying, so when we are saying there are a lot of employment, there are unemployment in the market. So you begin to see how many of them are employable. Do you agree? I'm saying, and I used to tell people are talking about most of the people I know that came out brilliantly from school are getting employment. People are still employing as we are talking. They are still employing, but for people to able to meet the criteria of getting that job is another thing entirely. So it's unfortunate that we find ourselves, as I said, but the issue of this NYSC, that shows that NYSC does not keep record. NYSC does not, maybe they've not computerized their process, or they are just, the way some Nigerians are doing things because somebody has served before. And I know the man, see a young guy, if somebody that served in the
maybe
80s,
like 20 years ago, it's like been a different ball game.
Yeah, but it's like a different ball game. But somebody, I'm sure the guy served more than 10 or 15 years. He served, and the computer could not detect this guy
has been in the system before.
Mr.
Mumuade, I would like to hold your thoughts here. It's good that we've picked call the other time. So when we come back on the turn of 5 o'clock, we'll still continue the conversation. I would probably just look at how deep do we think this investigation would need to go. The Minister of Education has assured us that there's going to be a thorough investigation. Even the spokesperson of the Ministry of Education was also on the show yesterday. But how deep do we need to search to know how far, how bad this whole racketeering had gone? We'll come back to that conversation, but we need to take the headline news by 5 o'clock. I would also need to pay some bills. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. You're live on Mainland 98.3 FM. We're streaming our programs live. Go on our social media platform, facebook.com/Mainland 98.3 FM, on YouTube, on Twitter. I'll also follow us. I will get the conversation going. We'll be right back.
Mainland 98.3 FM, your number one radio, reaching stars, the sound of Lagos.
Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. Headline news on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Omobola Sandra. Amotekun commanders and officers honor Akeredolu, hold candlelight walk. Fubara visits Diri with Rivers leaders, agrees to work together for a common purpose. CNPP urges Tinubu to address nation's FDI for economic growth. Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria denies plan to increase fuel price. On the foreign scene, Hamas accuses Israel of hitting Gaza's safe zone, killing 14. And in sports, Cole Palmer and Kudus lead nominees for Premier League Player of the Month. That's the headline news on Mainland FM. Details at 5:30.
Nostalgic feeling on radio. Introducing classic hits from way back.
As you see me so, I belong to the Chop Better gang. Now why anytime I want chop like this, I dey put better things inside. For my yam porridge, after I don't put my fish, I go con deck am with onions, tatashe and ugu, con season am with correct no cubes for that delicious taste. Because my people, good life na life where you chop better.
Sama all your food with correct vegetables. Come season am with no cubes for that ogbonge delicious taste. Today, chop better.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Broadcast Art Institute Supplementary Admissions 2023-2024. Few vacancies exist in the Department of Broadcast Journalism and Multimedia Technology for admission in the 2023-2024 session. If you scored 100 and above in the 2023-2024 UTME, together with 5 relevant credits, but have not gained admission, you can change over to the Broadcast Art Institute Lagos for National Diploma in Broadcast Journalism and Multimedia Technology. The Broadcast Art Institute is accredited by the National Board for Technical Education (NBTE) to offer national diploma programs in broadcast journalism and multimedia technology. You can visit our campus at number 38 Odofin Street, Igbogbo, Ikorodu, Lagos, or call the following numbers: 0806 149 9992 or 0703 713 1166 or 0816 587-1414
What takes a plate of jollof rice to the next level of goodness? Is it when it is cooked with no seasoning cubes for that sumptuous taste? Or when you serve it with correct Nigerian salad, cabbage, carrot, lettuce, and a bit of kidney beans?
It's both. Season your jollof with the rich taste of Knorr cubes and serve with plenty of vegetables. So, go ahead and elevate your meals. Today, eat for good.
Are you seeking admission into a tertiary institution in Nigeria? Here is a big opportunity for you. The 2022-2023 admission into Èkó City Polytechnic is now open. Available courses are Computer Science, Theatre and Media Art, Mass Communication, Science Laboratory Technology, Electronics Engineering, Accounting, Banking Operations, Business Administration, Multimedia Technology. Qualified students should have scored 100 and above in the last JAMB exam. Facilities at Èkó City Polytechnic include well-equipped studio and laboratories, modern classrooms, innovative workshop, recreation space, and fully functional hostels. Our lecturers and tutors combine both academic and industry experience. Full-time and part-time admission forms are available for the 2022-2023 academic session at the campus, Èkó City Polytechnic, Plot 100, Alhaji Onilewura Street, Ikotun Egbe, Lagos State. Èkó City Polytechnic is approved by JAMB, NBTE, and the Federal Ministry of Education. For more information, please call Moses 091 62 54 0610, Wale 091 62 92 7079, Praise 091 62 69 9996, Adelanwa 081 26 580784, or visit our website www.ecocity.edu.ng. Èkó City Polytechnic, building industry-ready professionals.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of Knorr seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Lagos, the center of excellence, the second most populous state in Nigeria, with over 12 million people and a territorial land area of 351,861 hectares. The state.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
Okay, welcome back. Don't forget that by 5:30 the full bulletin will come up, and by 6 o'clock, of course, we'll come talk about the Thursday edition of Sport Cruise on Mainland 98.3 FM. The Super Eagles camp is buzzing, and the African Cup of Nations kicks off in about 10 days' time. We'll have all of those details for you by 6 o'clock. But now we're back into the Situation Room, and then we've had very engaging conversation with the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper, Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi, and we're focusing on the old certificates saga, the racketeering, the expose, which for me I think it's way deeper than a lot of people are looking at it, because, well, Don't let me bother myself with all of that. Let's just keep to the word of the Minister of Education, Professor Aᴏᴜ Mamman, yesterday, that gave his words that a thorough investigation will be carried out, and everyone that has been found guilty or that cheated the system and is benefiting from that would be brought to book. Let's see how much or how many pages that book would have. Mr. Miwandi, before we went on that break for the headline news and to pay some bills, we were talking about how difficult do you think this investigation is? Now, we're looking at many years of this old rot. Now, before we even come talk about the old NYSC situation, let's talk about the side of the schools issuing this certificate. How many Nigerians in their hundreds of thousands do we know that is it really possible to have a thorough investigation on this issue according to the Minister of Education?
I think it's possible if Nigerian government wanted to do it. Simply because, as we look at the number of universities we are talking about in the Republic, Togo, or wherever, all of them are not half of what we have in Nigeria here. I think because including Ghana. What's the population of these countries we are talking about? Ghana is just about 28 or 30 million people, right? I used to say the population of Ghana has population of Lagos and the land mass of Oyo State. So I think that's how it describes. So, and Ghana is one of the largest, at least the countries that we have in West Africa or Africa, as the case may be. If the Nigerian government is serious, I think it will look into it. They have capacity. They have people in UC that can do a good job for them, at least to look at it. But the problem we might encounter, one, is what is going to be the scope. For how many years? I think we want to do this the kind of a screening. But I can assure you that in most of these francophone African countries, in Nigeria you have a NUC, Nigeria University Commission. They also that regulates, I think, accredit courses, regulate and look into, I think, quality control in our universities. They have, I think, an organ in francophone countries. It's just, I think it's so from there. The body will give them the number of the approved universities, at least for all these francophone countries. Number one, not only approved university and accredited courses from those universities and the years those courses were accredited. So if they should start from that one, that we have a record that shows this number of approved universities from, I think, the body regulating
university operation
or the university operation in the francophone countries. You have that one, and secondly, from there, that body again, you have the list of all the accredited courses for each of the universities. Right? I think that might be the starting point. Having got that document, you now begin to look. Let us start now from certificates of those institutions. You start from there. With that one, if they did not accredit, accountancy for this university in Ketu,
they have an accountancy certificate,
and they are holding that certificate. I think so you are able to get the point clearly, right? But where we might have issue is that, do you understand? Would the school, if let's say somebody that got certificate within 6 weeks, right? Would the school cooperate with the Nigerian government
in the
investigating that certificate? Because they will not write that they have certificate in 6 weeks. They understand, unless the school is not in connivance with the perpetrators
of the racket.
Do you understand? The school will come out and say, no, we did not. We don't know this. If you go to my school now, present my certificate to them,
they will confirm it.
They will confirm it. Do you understand? But if the school and most of the private schools are part of the racketeering going on, but if the school is not involved, certainly the school will come out with the true position. They will reply you that this guy gained admission so and they went through so we have his records. Even they will give you, can give his records, they can give his transcript. So, but our fear is that in Nigeria we play politics with everything. Yes, we are hearing this one now. So we can just
individuals.
To the individuals, And before you know it, you begin to hear all these excuses. You begin to see them play politics with it. No, that's going to be unfair to the system, because any society that allow those people parading this certificate to go scot-free, I think is encouraging a more worse situation, and you are not building a good society. It's like you are encouraging people as to be dubious in the way of life. Whoever that's involved, and there's no victim in this matter. You understand? They are accomplices. Because if you know that if university says you must have 5 credits before you can get admission, and you say somebody offered you an admission with 3 credits, so you know the implication. You understand? So you know the implication, and if you know that you're supposed to go through 8 semesters,
and you did 3,
8 semesters to have bachelor's degree, you understand? And somebody lured you, collected money from you to say, I think in 6 weeks you've covered the 8 semesters. So, and you paid that money, you go to, so you are not a victim, right? So you know what you did. So if the implication comes, you understand? You should face it squarely. But everything that's needed to be done, if this government wants them to take themselves and allow Oloyede to chair the committee to investigate this matter. Isaac Oloyede, and it's one Nigerian, I'm sure that if you put such people, Isaac Oloyede, if you put Isaac Oloyede as the head of the committee that will investigate this matter, I'm sure if we could not get to the final, we could not get everybody.
But there will be a lot of positive results.
You are going to have a positive result. Isaac Oloyede is competent to the man has proved when it comes to education, when it comes to integrity. The man has proved any other person. I'm sorry to say, because if the man, I don't know him from Adams, right? But if the man who the jump that never meted 1 naira to the government, that are charging higher, and the man who handled the place within a year, 2 years, was remitting billions to the government, you begin to ask, when others were there, what were they doing?
Snakes were swallowing money.
That's when others were there. Okay, snake was sorry. Okay, so what I'm saying is that if we wanted to do it, Nigeria has the capacity. Because what's the population of Togo? How many universities do we have in Togo? You know what I'm saying? You will be surprised that the population of the students in Togo does not match University of Lagos of about 60,000 students. What's the population of the whole Togo?
So, Mr. Miwa, before we open the phone lines, I know a lot of people will be very angry right now, but tomorrow is Friday, so we'll find a way around it. And there's going to be a new twist to the open mic on Fridays in the Situation Room. Tomorrow we'll announce a couple of changes to the Situation Room every week, so that we'll get accustomed to the new setup that we're coming into the new year with. It's just to make sure that everyone is carried along and everyone gets properly educated on the show. So, but now, are we going to just focus on the 2 West African countries, Togo and Benin Republic?
No.
How far should our drag net spread to?
Our drag net should drag to almost African countries. Even not only African countries. We have some people going to Scandinavian countries, and some countries in the east. You understand? East of Europe, that people are doubting their certificates. Do you understand? Before Russia-Ukraine crisis started, even some people that went to study, I think, medicine in Ukraine, some people are doubting. I think, yes, the integrity of the certificates before the war broke out. Do you understand? Some people that went to all these Siberia and those
Slovenia,
Chechnya, whatever to
visa entrance.
Do you understand? People are doubting their certificates. But in Africa, we have some people going to Sudan. Do you understand? Going to some Ethiopia. The Ethiopia, even some poverty war ravaging zones to come and present some certificates.
Foreign certificates.
Yes, but let them drag the net as, I think, in Africa. Let first come to Africa, but West Africa number 1. Do you understand? The West Africa number 1, because Nigerians have perpetrated those areas, and I'm sure we have many. Because I used to wonder, why should anybody say is going to study in Benin Republic? In Nigeria, going to the public that in standard, the standard in Nigeria is quite higher in everything we are talking about. That's what I'm saying. But between you and I, though some of them that earn the certificate, how many of them, if not political appointments, where merit does not stand, right? How many of them can stand and write exam and get a job,
in a proper organization?
How many of them? And they mark you. You see, you know what? People don't. I used to tell the younger ones. In the old days, I can say, okay, I have a friend in a Sky Bank. You have a friend in a Union Bank.
Just recommend people.
Even to get them now as a contract staff, as a teller, as whatever, they write exams. Don't talk of them, employ them as professionals. That's why most companies engage consultants. People write 5, 6, 7 exams. When my son was to get a job in the Access Bank, this I think this middle manager or whatever, they insisted on first class and second class upper. After that one, they wrote about 6 exams. 6 exams before they now went to training school. And that training school, if you score, I think almost every week for 3 or 4 months, they sit for exam every week. So by the time they finish the exam, almost 2 weeks to about 3 weeks to it, he went to exam. He went to the clinic that he could not understand anything again. That his brain blocked. They told him, well, you are the 6th or 7th person that's coming here today for the same reason. So I'm telling you, I think the rigor of getting job in. So, but these are the people that be paraded say we've not got job. You understand? So the blaming government when the certificate they are holding, ask them to write their name. It's like giving them a serious assignment. Write your name.
Well, interesting times. I really hope that the words of the Minister of Education will be is born. I really hope that they will be able to do at least some decent kind of investigation on
this. They should not play politics with it. That's just my problem here. Once they refused and they think they want to sanitize the system, that whether you are a senator, you are a rep member, you are this, you are that you are found culpable in this criminal conspiracy,
you are going for
it. Going for it. They must face the law. That I think that will serve as teachers to others and reduce the trend.
Okay, just a couple of calls before we call it a day on the show. Tomorrow is Friday, and then so we'll have enough time to still take your contribution on this particular conversation, because it's obvious that this is not going to end anytime soon. 0913-600-0410, just 1 minute each, so that we can take as many calls as we can take. Hello, good evening.
I greet you, sir.
You're welcome.
Compliment of the season. Joshua, my name, calling from Agbole. Hello.
We are with you.
Yes. Mr. Muiwa.
Yes, sir.
God bless you, sir.
Yes, sir.
You have said it. There has to be a serious investigation and all of that, sir. Please, sir, can the demon cast out demon? Don't expect anything to come out from this one, because how can a lion give birth to a goat? In a country where from top to bottom everything is racketeering, certificate forgery, racketeering, how do you expect the children to come clean with a good result or good certificate? We all know what is happening. We all know. Okay. Now the man is talking tough. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Will he start from the president? Because if you expect justice to be done, everyone has to go for it, including the principal. So will he bring them down, or if he himself has involved in the racketeering before?
Sorry, you know what? I think let me quickly react to this. Please, I think we should not muzzle things up here. The issue of the Mr. President has been sorted out, and please, we should not. Because if we didn't want listeners to go out, I think with the wrong impression. The University of Chicago said Mr. President attended the university, and the registrar of the school came up on oath, at least to say he attended. And I think so. Once the university said somebody attended the place, forget politics. And there was never allegation that the Mr. President bought the certificate of the school, or the Mr. President spent 3 weeks in the University of Chicago to obtain certificate. So I think it was so clear. The school came out to say he attended, and the registrar said it, and they said it on note. So I think that has settled that matter. So it's different from somebody sitting down at home, I think going to Benin Republic for 6 weeks and obtain certificate, or somebody selling gari toshodi only for him at least to just get some friends in Benin Republic, paid certain amount of money, and I think and got certificate. No, they are two different things.
Okay, I mean, very clear. Somebody even made a joke that, not a joke. He said somebody he knows, or one of his uncles, someone, escorted someone to do convocation in the university in Benin, and then the person came back with a doctorate degree. Not the person that went for convocation, the person that escorted someone for convocation. One more call before we call it a day on the show. Tomorrow is Friday, so we'll have enough time, to take your contribution and just hear your opinion on this issue. Yeah, this one, very short one. Hello, good evening. Hello. Okay. Unfortunately, we won't be able to talk to you, and that will be the last call we'll pick. Mr. Miwa, you've actually brought it open that if the government is intentional about getting to the root cause of this,
yes.
But do you think Nigeria trusts the government enough to do that?
Well, I think we should not trust them now, and let them prove themselves. Because if you want to trust them now, you'll be disappointed. So, but now let there be pressure on the government, that where we know you may not do it, but for the first time convince us that I think you meant well for this country, that you really wanted to sanitize this society. So it's not a matter of trust, because it's a matter of the government. If they have promised to do something, if for the first time, let them prove Nigerians wrong. Yes, we have every reason to be skeptical about them, because there have been many panels set up to investigate issues in this country that we have never seen the outcome. Even if at times they come out with white paper,
and it's not even implemented.
So if those things were being implemented, the plateau will not still be burning. The Kaduna will be at peace by now. That's what I'm saying. So there have been many issues in this country that they will set up high-powered people with integrity to investigate. But after the reports, many reports are gathering dust in the presidency. Do you understand that they never
the national conference that we had in 2014?
No, even previous. I'm not talking. That one is national. Do you understand? Plateau, they are still killing people in Plateau. Do you understand?
There's been a lot of commission of inquiries.
Do you know that the reports have not been made public up to now? There was no white paper. So thousands of people will die. There will be emotion. There will be sentiment. Few weeks after it,
everybody will move on.
So I think the what you're supposed to do, that those things will never happen again, to stop it permanently. So we will never go back to it. We'll be positive with it. So that's why I'm saying that let Nigerians keep on mounting pressure, I think, on the government, that no, don't sweep this under the carpet. We want to know those people that were involved, not only in companies. Companies can do their own. I'm sure many companies will now begin to look at their records and see those who came with all these foreign certificates. But let government also purge out, I think, those maybe in National Assembly or anywhere that are parading fake certificates.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Miwa. Mr. Miwa is the head of our political desk, the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper. He joins us on the show every Thursday, and we'll certainly get the conversation going. But by 5:30, the full bulletin will come through. By 6 o'clock, the sports cruise will also come up. And let's talk about the preparations of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It's 10 days to AFCON. Let's see how far we can go. My name is Okoyemi Akinde. We'll keep this conversation going. Follow us on our social media platforms: Facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM, on YouTube mainland 983 FM, on X formerly Twitter mainland 983, so that I can get notifications and check on our updates and everything going on. Don't forget, when you see something, you say something. Have a very good evening. Join you tomorrow.